Let me tell you something. Most people don't understand while they're living through it. The years that feel the hardest, the ones that stretch you, humble you, and sometimes break your heart, those are not wasted years. Those are not detours. Those are the years doing the most important work on you. See, when life is easy, you don't learn much about yourself. When things are comfortable, you can hide. You can coast. You can pretend you're stronger, wiser, more disciplined than you really are. But hard years don't allow pretending. They demand honesty. They force you to look at who you are without the applause, without the safety net, without guarantees. Those years teach you patience when nothing is moving, discipline when motivation is gone, faith when results are nowhere in sight. They teach you how to keep showing up when quitting would feel justified. And that lesson right there is priceless, because success without strength will always collapse under pressure. Hard years also strip away what doesn't matter. The wrong people fade. The fake confidence disappears. The excuses stop working. What's left is your character, your work ethic, your values. That process doesn't feel good, but it is necessary. You don't build anything solid on comfort alone. Most people pray for easier seasons, not realizing the difficult ones are shaping them for the weight they say they want to carry. You can't ask for purpose and complain about preparation. You can't ask for impact and avoid the struggle that sharpens you. Those hard years are teaching you how to stand when life stops being kind. And one day, maybe not soon, maybe much later, you'll look back and realize something powerful. The moments that almost broke you were the moments that built you. The seasons that felt like delay were actually development. And the hardest years of your life weren't holding you back. They were quietly preparing you for everything that came after. Hard years rarely feel meaningful while you are inside them. They feel heavy, confusing, and often unfair. When progress is slow and outcomes are uncertain, it's easy to believe you are falling behind or being punished. But those seasons are not focused on producing visible success. Their purpose is deeper. They are shaping the kind of person who can handle success without being destroyed by it. Character is not built in moments of comfort or applause. It is built in quiet endurance, in showing up when nothing is working, in choosing integrity when shortcuts are available, in staying disciplined when motivation has disappeared. Hard years create these moments repeatedly, forcing you to practice values instead of just talking about them. Over time, those practiced values become who you are. When life is difficult, excuses lose their power. You can't rely on luck or timing or external validation. You are forced to look inward and ask hard questions. Am I consistent? Am I patient? Am I willing to do the work even when it hurts? These questions refine character because they require honesty. Success can hide flaws. Hardship exposes them so they can be corrected. Hard years also teach humility. They remind you that talent alone is not enough. That effort does not always produce immediate reward. That growth often happens invisibly. This humility is essential because without it, success can quickly turn into arrogance. People who rise quickly without being humbled often fall just as fast. Hard years slow you down long enough to build stability. Resilience is another gift of difficult seasons. Each setback you survive increases your tolerance for pressure. Each failure teaches you that pain is temporary and survivable. Over time, you stop fearing difficulty because you've already faced it. This resilience becomes part of your character, allowing you to remain steady when others panic. Hard years also shape discipline. When things are going well, discipline feels optional. When things are hard, discipline becomes necessary. You learn how to create structure when chaos surrounds you. You learn how to move forward without emotional support. These habits stay with you long after the hard season ends, quietly supporting future success. Many people want success first and character later, not realizing that this order rarely works. Success amplifies who you already are. If character is weak, success magnifies that weakness. Hard years reverse the process. They strengthen the foundation before adding weight. They ensure that when opportunity arrives, you are not overwhelmed by it. Looking back, people often realize that their values were forged during their most difficult periods. Patience, empathy, gratitude, and self-respect grow in environments where they are tested. Easy seasons don't require these qualities. Hard seasons demand them daily. Success achieved without character is fragile. It depends on circumstances remaining favorable. Character built through hardship is durable. It holds steady through change, pressure, and uncertainty. That is why hard years matter so much. They are not delaying your success. They are ensuring that when success comes, you are strong enough to carry it. Struggle often feels personal, as if life has singled you out for hardship. In those moments, it's natural to question why things aren't easier, why progress feels slow, why doors seem closed. But struggle is rarely punishment. More often, it is preparation in disguise. It is life training you for situations you are not yet equipped to handle. Preparation doesn't always look productive. Sometimes it looks like repetition, failure, and waiting. These experiences build skills that cannot be learned in comfort. Patience is learned when outcomes are delayed. Discipline is learned when motivation disappears. Focus is learned when distractions are removed. Struggle creates the conditions where these qualities must develop, or you don't move forward. If life handed you everything early, without resistance, you would lack the depth required to sustain it. Ease builds confidence, but struggle builds competence. Competence comes from solving problems, making mistakes, and adjusting. Every difficult season forces you to strengthen something internal before you can advance externally. Struggle also teaches awareness. When things are hard, you pay attention. You listen more closely. You become more intentional. Comfort dulls awareness. Struggle sharpens it. It forces you to notice patterns in your behavior, weaknesses in your preparation, and gaps in your mindset. This awareness is essential because it allows growth to be directed instead of random. There is also a mental conditioning that happens during struggle. You learn how to manage uncertainty. You learn how to keep moving without reassurance. You learn how to trust effort even when results are invisible. These lessons are critical because future responsibilities rarely come with clarity or guarantees. Struggle prepares you to operate without constant confirmation. Many people confuse struggle with failure. But failure is not falling short. It is refusing to learn. Struggle becomes punishment only when lessons are ignored. When lessons are absorbed, struggle transforms into training. Each setback becomes information. Each obstacle becomes instruction. This shift in perspective turns pain into progress. Struggle also builds empathy. Experiencing difficulty makes you more aware of the challenges others face. It softens judgment and strengthens understanding. This empathy matters because success without empathy isolates. Preparation through struggle keeps you grounded, connected, and aware of the human side of achievement. Preparation requires time. That is why struggle often lasts longer than expected. You are not just being tested, you are being developed. Strength is being layered. Capacity is being expanded. Rushing this process would weaken the outcome. Struggle stays until the preparation is complete. Looking back, people rarely wish they had avoided struggle. They wish they had understood it sooner. They realize it gave them skills they still rely on. Confidence rooted in struggle is different. It is calm, not loud. It is steady, not reactive. It comes from knowing you've already faced difficulty and survived it. Struggle does not mean you are on the wrong path. Often, it means you are exactly where you need to be. It is shaping your thinking, refining your habits, and strengthening your character so that when opportunity arrives, you are ready to meet it without being overwhelmed. Pain is an uncomfortable teacher, but it is one of the most effective ones you will ever encounter. Comfort rarely demands change. When things are easy, there is little reason to question habits, beliefs, or direction. Pain, however, interrupts patterns. It forces attention. It demands response. That is why pain teaches lessons comfort never can. Pain exposes what truly matters. When everything is stripped down to survival or endurance, priorities become clear. Trivial concerns fade. Ego loses its grip. You begin to see what is essential and what has been distracting you. Comfort allows people to stay busy with things that don't move them forward. Pain removes that luxury. Pain also reveals strength you didn't know you had. Most people underestimate their capacity because they have never been pushed to their limits. When pain arrives, it tests those limits and often expands them. You learn that you can endure more than you imagine, that you can adapt, that you can keep moving even when the path is unclear. This realization builds a deep, quiet confidence. Another lesson pain teaches is honesty. Comfort allows self-deception. You can pretend something isn't working, ignore warning signs, or delay difficult conversations. Pain removes denial. It forces you to confront reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. This confrontation is uncomfortable, but it is also freeing. Once you see the truth, you can respond to it. Pain also sharpens perspective. It teaches gratitude by contrast. Things once taken for granted gain value. Small victories feel meaningful. This shift in perspective changes how you approach life even after the pain passes. You become more present, more appreciative, more aware of what matters. There is also a discipline that pain develops. When things hurt, you learn to move with intention. You learn to conserve energy, focus effort, and eliminate waste. Pain forces efficiency. It teaches you to stop scattering attention and start committing to what truly helps you move forward. Pain humbles. It reminds you that you are human, that you are not in complete control, that effort does not always guarantee outcomes. This humility protects you from arrogance later. People who have never been humbled by pain often crumble when life stops cooperating. Those who have faced pain learn to stand without entitlement. Many people try to numb pain rather than learn from it. They distract themselves, suppress it, or rush past it. In doing so, they miss the lesson. Pain stays until it is understood. When approached with awareness, it becomes a guide rather than an enemy. Comfort offers safety, but it does not offer growth. Pain demands growth because stagnation becomes unbearable. It forces change not through inspiration, but through necessity. The growth that comes from pain lasts because it is tied to survival, not convenience. Years later, people often look back at their most painful seasons with unexpected respect. They recognize that those moments reshaped them in ways comfort never could. Pain took away illusions, strengthened resolve, and taught truths that became foundations for the rest of their lives. Uncertainty is one of the most uncomfortable experiences a person can face. Not knowing how things will turn out, where you will end up, or whether your effort will pay off creates anxiety and doubt. Most people try to escape uncertainty as quickly as possible, searching for guarantees before they move. But growth does not happen in certainty. It happens when you keep moving despite not having clear answers. When everything feels secure and predictable, there is little reason to change. You stay within what you know. You repeat what already works. Uncertainty disrupts that pattern. It forces you to adapt, to think differently, to develop skills you didn't need before. That adaptation is growth in action. Uncertain seasons demand courage. You have to act without full information. You have to trust yourself rather than outcomes. This builds internal strength because you learn to rely on effort instead of reassurance. Over time, this self-trust becomes one of your greatest assets. You stop needing perfect conditions to move forward. Uncertainty also teaches flexibility. When plans fall apart, rigid thinking fails. You learn to adjust without giving up. You discover alternate routes. This flexibility is essential for long-term success because life rarely follows a straight line. Those who grow are not those who avoid disruption, but those who learn how to respond to it. There is a creative aspect to uncertainty as well. When familiar solutions no longer work, you are forced to innovate. You experiment. You explore. You combine ideas in new ways. Many breakthroughs are born in moments where certainty disappears and curiosity takes its place. Uncertainty also reveals commitment. When results are guaranteed, commitment is easy. When outcomes are unclear, commitment becomes a choice. Continuing during uncertainty proves that your motivation runs deeper than immediate reward. That depth strengthens character and endurance. Another important lesson of uncertain seasons is patience. Growth takes time, and uncertainty stretches that timeline. You learn how to wait without quitting. You learn how to work without immediate validation. This patience strengthens focus and prevents impulsive decisions that can derail progress. Uncertainty strips away illusion. It shows you that control is limited and that effort is what you truly own. This realization shifts attention from worrying about outcomes to improving actions. When you focus on what you can control, progress becomes possible even in unstable conditions. Many people look back and realize that the periods where they grew the most were the ones where they felt lost, unsure, or uncomfortable. Those moments forced them to listen more closely, work more intentionally, and trust themselves more deeply. Certainty would have kept them static. Growth does not announce itself during uncertain times. It happens quietly, internally. As skills develop, perspectives shift, and resilience strengthens. By the time clarity returns, you are no longer the same person who entered the uncertainty. You are more capable, more grounded, and better prepared for whatever comes next. What tries to break you often arrives disguised as loss, failure, or disappointment. In the moment, it feels destructive, like something has gone wrong or been taken away. But these experiences are not random. They apply pressure where growth is needed most. What feels like breaking is often reshaping, forcing parts of you to strengthen, adjust, or let go. Pressure exposes weaknesses, not to shame you, but to show you where reinforcement is required. When life applies force, it reveals cracks that comfort hides. This exposure is painful, but it is also necessary. You cannot strengthen what you cannot see. What challenges you most often points directly to what must change for you to grow. Breaking moments also strip away illusion. They remove false confidence built on circumstances rather than substance. They take away identities that no longer serve you. This loss feels personal, but it creates space for something more stable to form. What remains after the stripping is more real than what existed before. There is also a refining process in difficulty. Repeated pressure hardens resolve, sharpens focus, and clarifies purpose. You stop wasting energy on what doesn't matter because survival demands efficiency. This clarity is a gift, even though it comes through struggle. Moments that feel breaking also teach endurance. You learn how to sit with discomfort without running from it. You discover that pain does not automatically mean failure. You begin to separate sensation from reality. This emotional maturity is essential for carrying responsibility later. When people avoid what feels like breaking, they also avoid growth. Resistance delays development. The very thing you try to escape is often the training ground for the next level of your life. Difficulty stays until it has completed its work. Breaking moments also create humility. They remind you that strength is built, not assumed, that control is limited. This humility deepens wisdom and prevents arrogance. Those who have been broken and rebuilt carry themselves differently. Their confidence is calm and grounded, not loud or fragile. There is also a deeper compassion that grows from hardship. Experiencing pain makes you more aware of the struggles others carry. This awareness strengthens connection and leadership. People trust those who understand difficulty because they know that understanding was earned. Over time, you begin to see patterns. The challenges that once seemed random reveal direction. Each breaking point forced a decision, a change, or a new level of responsibility. Without those moments, progress would have stalled. What tries to break you is not always meant to stop you. Often, it is shaping you into someone who can carry more weight, withstand more pressure, and move forward with greater clarity and strength than before.